Well, hello YouTube. This is another Pokemon 5th Generation Wi-Fi battle video presented to you by yours truly, Skyfire, the Pokemon Matic. I'm playing White 2 in this one, and the battle is against Cozmo from the Pokemon Wi-Fi.com. Okay. Besides the Sableye and the Espeon, which is a usual obvious, there's a thing about that Golbat and that Magneton. And that Porygon 2. It's obvious to say that Porygon 2 is the Eviolite and possibly Golbat as well. And you know what? I think Magneton does too. But I didn't see Magneton's ability. I think it might have been Magnet Pool. But I'm not pretty sure. This team does look a little gimmicky. Because I already know when it comes down to Porygon 2, usually you would think of Trick Room. So with that, he is going to bring in Porygon 2, and I am going to bring in Dayton, which is my Bismagius. Trace obviously is for the Levitate, obviously probably to bring in at the right time, but I guess this was an interesting play to start. So he is going to go for the Trick Room, as I predicted, and he is going to go for the Charge Beam, which, well, doesn't do much. I mean, it does not even, I don't know. It did 47 points of damage. That's all I have to say. So I am going to go for the Hidden Power Fighting, which takes about half. So I am going to see a switch in the Sableye come in. And I obviously do the switch. So I easily went for the Nasty Plot to put myself up at +4. This thing's gonna go for Will-O-Wisp. What's the Will-O-Wisp for? I actually don't get it, but it didn't matter too much because I was gonna go for the Thunderbolt. This was probably one of the things where I wish I did go for the Shadow Ball because it would have did a little bit better. But now that I know I'm at +4, anything it does would be down half. Well, except Flygon. So, the Flygon is going to take 0 from Thunderbolt. So, I figure all the switching around is not going to get anywhere, and there's a reason why. The Trick Room is gone. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball. And that Shadow Ball +4 stab is saying bye-bye to that Flygon. So, that won't work there. Shall we try again? He's going to go for Magneton. And I'm thinking this is probably going to wall that and try to do some type of move, which is not good. But, again, I have Hidden Power Fighting. And that's a one-hit KO on the Magneton. So, no worries there. I'm already up 2. Or is it 3? No, I'm only up 2. So, here comes Sableye. Again. Bad timing for that. Reason? He goes for Recover first. But, to be honest, that didn't matter. Because I'm going for Thunderbolt, and I already know it did at least 80%. And Sableye doesn't have near 80% HP. So, that Sableye's gone. So, he's going to bring in Espeon. Now, wouldn't Espeon go for a Shadow Ball, at least? Or Psychic at that matter? It goes for Grass Knot. It doesn't even take 1%. Or 5 or 3% for that matter. I'm just gonna go for a Shadow Ball. Stab. +4. Super effective. Bye, Espeon. Unfortunately, I have to say bye to Dayton as well. Darn burn. So look at myself, I'm way ahead of this game. It's only Golbat, quite possibly Porygon 2 left. Well, this is where Skycatcher comes in. Skycatcher is going to go for the Air Slash. Not for me to realize about 5 turns later that this thing has inner focus. So this is going to be a little bit of an iffy as far as trying to get this Golbat out. So, okay, let me think. Think about this. Think. Nasty Plot. Roost? Okay. So, looks like this Golbat is Eviolite and has Toxic and Roost. So, I could have did this in 3 ways. I could have went for the burn, or I could have switched out a move and put in something like extra sensory or Psy Shock. No, I went for Air Slash. It takes half, but I had to deal with Whirlwind. Oh, this is going to be an interesting Golbat. So he switches it into Providence. Good. Sync. Goodness. I'm going to go for the foul play. It's going to go for the Roost. Okay. So here we go. Another one of these gimmicky Golbats again. Toxic Air Slash. No, wait. Toxic Roost. Whirlwind. What's the 4th move? Well, I don't know, but all I'm seeing is Roost, so it doesn't really matter because I still have Providence. Now, what I should have did, once he went into Encore, I could have switched. But he switches, brings in Porygon 2. Obviously, to Trace the Prankster. But I am going to go for the Charm. I don't know why. Not like Porygon had any attack anyway, but I am going to go for the Thunder Wave to make sure that there are at least some paralyzed in this one. But he still goes for the Trick Room. Not like that's much of a matter. He's going to go for the Recover, and this is going to be one of these interesting back and forth types of games. Because he's going to use Whirlwind and Toxic, but you know the problem about this is? The problem about this is that I have Moravian. When I have Moravian, it's not going to be much of a matter. Because you can't use Toxic, you only need to use Whirlwind, and it's not going to be much of a fun thing, if you know what I mean. Because if you Toxic everybody, it's still going to be down to Moravian. Speaking of Moravian, we made a double switch. He's going to switch into Golbat. I'm going to switch into Moravian. With it being paralyzed, I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Iron Head, hoping to take at least half. Because all I'm going to do is Roost back. I could have did a +4, but this is where the fun comes in. I am going to go for another Iron Head. I'm expecting the Roost, and I was right. So either way it goes, he will either have to Roost or Whirlwind to make sure that he keeps that Golbat alive, because Golbat is the shuffler. And although I am doing Iron Head, it's doing pretty good damage. And the Whirlwind does come out, so I am going to get switched back into Skycatcher. But the thing about what he does is going to be a little bit amazing, because again, I am going to go for the Air Slash. And I could be really funny. I could be real funny, because what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and go. And I'm going to go ahead and keep Skycatcher in, because what I don't want to do is cause any more shuffling to happen. So I'm just going to go for negative play anyway. Because if he does Roost again, all I'm going to do is put him back down to about half. And all you're going to do is shuffle back, because either way it goes, it's going to be Moravian and Skycatcher doing most of the work. So, and not to mention, I still had 2 other Pokemon left between Skycatcher and Moravian. Those are the only 2 Pokemon that I've seen besides Dayton. Who's done most of the work. So I go for Air Slash and Golbat can't move. So I'm already in a good position. Now, with knowing that, he's going to switch out, bring back in Porygon 2. This is a switch back to try and keep certain Pokemon alive between Porygon 2 and and Golbat. The problem is I'm gonna go for Air Slash anyway. And it takes it down to about 40-45% while I still go for the while I go for that. But anyway, Skycatcher's gone. I'm gonna bring back your Moravian. Moravian's gonna do a Sword Stance. The only thing that Porygon can do is Trick Room. And even worse, it's gonna switch back into Golbat to try and get Roost to him. It's the obvious prediction of trying to keep them two alive by going for Toxic. The problem about it is I have Moravian. And even if you do try for something like Toxic, something like that, you still gotta deal with Moravian. But anyway, he's gonna go for a Roost, which is already a bad idea itself because I'm at +2. And even funnier, I'll go for the Iron Head, and that Iron Head is gonna be a very, very critical one because it happens to be a crit. My point exactly. So that shuffling Golbat is gone. He's gonna bring in Porygon 2. Even though it's gonna Tracy Justify, pretty much the game was forfeited. And of course, there's a reason why. All that shuffling into Golbat and Porygon 2, there was a fine line with this, and that was Moravian. The reason why is, no matter how much you try and Whirlwind Moravian out, you still have to deal with Dyersville, who had Ice Beam. You still deal with Raikou, who had Thunderbolt. And there he goes. What's the bother? I have 4 more Pokemon that could have dealt any more damage to super effective than just Moravian. But Moravian did what I needed to do. Moravian did what I needed to do. So all that shuffling really did not work on that behalf because of the fact that Toxic and shuffling back into Trick Room and recovering, no. It's not going to work all the time. It might for some, but of course I am the Pokemon Skyfire, so it was going to be a way that might just flop over the team, but there's this one little shiny knight. It's a Sword of Justice. That happens to be Moravian. And that's how I got it. The crit, I guess, didn't matter, but lo and behold, it was going to be Moravian anyway. Even if it was the last Pokemon. Rate, comment, subscribe, give it a like if you like it. This is the Pokemon Skyfire, and have a nice day, and see you next time.